That's the cult doing automatic blues. I decided I would just go through the old school playlist while I was out screwing around in the backyard because it's under 100, man. I think summer's gonna finally go away and I live in easily one of the best three season towns out there. Thanks for coming by and putting some eyeballs on here, folks. You are my people and I love you. I want you to be the big three. I want you healthy, I want you happy, and I want you safe. We are going to take a look at the last of the Oktoberfest pre-gamers today. We're going to take a look at Schneider Weiss, handcrafted in Bavaria, La Brassbanda, which I think means the brass band, Weissbier, and it's Weissbier. And I'm going to go with La Brassbanda. Means it's an oompa band. I'm gonna have to try and save that. Maybe the monster wants it, or I'll turn it into a maggot. But it's the oompa band that ties this in to Oktoberfest. I will tell you, I do enjoy me. Score. The whole theme that goes around with it. Even the oompa bands and the pretzels and the food. And she does fit in the brewmate. Yeah, take the wins where you can find them, my friends. So, let's give her a pour and let her warm up a little bit. Almost tiniest bit of slizzard in the bottom, but look at that head. Oh man, that looks like a freaking egg cream. How pretty that is. The color is nice. It's orange gold and cloudy. We're shooting this way because if I shot the other way, the camera would get its eyes burnt out from too much backlighting. Oh, that's a pretty beer, dude. That's a 17 if there ever was one. So, La Brassbanda we covered. Notes. 4.9 is the ABV. 20 are the IBUs. Okay. The hops are going to be Hallertau Traditional and Hallertau Hercules. We're using wheat and barley for the malt. It is open and bottle fermented. Unfilterized. I really do need to start drinking before I start drinking. Unfiltered and unpasteurized. And 11.5 is the original wort. So the other thing I need to do is start brewing. But it's getting nice enough. We can start brewing, man. She just looked really, really interesting, and she is also the last of the Schneiders I have in the house. I really do like Schneiders, but then again, I tend to really like wheat beer too. She smells good. She smells super interesting. It doesn't give us the yeast, so I don't know what you use for open and bottle fermenting for yeast. Unfiltered bottle fermented ale, product of Germany. 4.9 is the ABV by volume. 1.9 fluid ounces is the size. Well, now we know how big the glass is. Might as well top her off. There we go. We get all the sediment out of the bottom too. Now we've got the whole beer. Of course, we're shooting off the beer in gear glass. If that ever shows up on camera, I would be amazed. The head has settled a little bit. She's still nice and densely packed. She is very discombobulated, so the head isn't just tight at the bottom and loose at the top. It's all over the place, all over the place. We do now have cloudies in here. That's going to be the yeast and everything else that's settled out from fermentation. But she still looks pretty pretty. All right. You'll know what time it is. Biden time. Let's get that sniffer up in there. Nice. Light, crisp, and clean is what I get off the nose. I'm not getting buried under any kind of citrus, but they didn't say there was any kind of citrus in here. Really light beery nose, more I would say floral. I would say grassy, but this smells more floral. Think grassy, but a little bit sweeter, right? So more like doesn't smell like a fucking flower shop. What she does smell like, though, is delicious. So, you know the rules. Looks like this, shaped like this, smells like this. I am honor bound. I am bound by my duty. Slipper the tongue, because we are gentlefolk after all. Prost. Wow, that's different. I was not very far off when I said floral. She is clean and fast, man. This is just a right through beer. Dry. When she came in, the initial hit, intradental, soft palate and tongue, and then she was gone. But it popped a really sweet floral kind of note. It was weird, man. Let's try it again. So she's thin, right? She's thin. She's blazingly fast. She's going to literally involve everything between the tongue and the roof of your mouth, the inside of your teeth, a little bit to the outside, and a little bit of sublingual, but that's because I swished it around to warm it up a little. I will take another and not swish it and let you know. Hey, am I coming into money? Yeah, I don't think so. She's really clean. The thing to look at on this when you're drinking it is, I drank a lot of wheat beer, like wheat beer. Again, I am a lighter colored, not a light beer guy. God forbid. Whoa! I have a small airport just due east of me, and that's I don't know, whatever kind of Lear comes with 2 engines strapped to the tail. It's a really odd paint job, black across the belly with some writing on it I couldn't read. There's weird shit going on in the world, man, but then again, I'm a crazy person, so take it for what it's worth. So the flavor that pops when you drink this is really offbeat and odd. And so floral, right? Because I said like flowery, like wildflowers, right? It's interesting. It's a little sweet and doesn't last very long. I've had some really horrible beers. We had one that tasted like bubble gum a couple of years ago. It was absolutely foul. There is no reason to have bubblegum beer. Okay? Not even as a dare. I can see chili beer, right? Because those are good to fuck with people with. But bubblegum beer is disgusting. Plus, the people who snap and chew bubblegum are most likely to be young girls, and they shouldn't be drinking beer anyway. Neither here nor there. But that wildflower note is kind of reminiscent, only it's not disgusting. It's super light, super light, but enough that it catches you off guard and you take notice. So I'm going to imagine that's the yeast, but I don't know what kind of yeast they use, because everything else in here we've drank before. Wheat and barley malt, and Hercule and Hallertau traditional are nothing that hasn't crossed our palate before. So it's the open fermentation thing, which means they're using some kind of wild yeast, is my guess. Best guess. It's an interesting concept. It's nothing like you get with the Brettanomyces that you get in Bavarians. That's the one they call banana cloves, but I call fruitcake. It's interesting, to say the least. It's very interesting. This beer has warmed up by now. While it's under 100, it's still over 90 out here. Looks like she's got a lace fair to middling. See, she's so fast. Now that she's warmed up a little, it incorporates the whole tongue, not just the front. And the flavor's laying on there. It's a good beer. It's hard to explain. You have to remember, I didn't go to snubbo beer tasting school. I did it the old-fashioned way. I'm a shade tree beer snubbo. Squizzy. As she warms up and the flavor expands a little more, she actually slows down a little bit. She's still super dry. The inside of my teeth are like chalk. Yeah, so everything's being contained intradentally, soft palate and tongue. A little bit of sublingual, but not a lot. A lot of air traffic today, man. Thin and fast. This might actually be an interesting beer to introduce somebody to who's just a meh beer drinker, and they're not real zythophiles like we are, which is why we're here. It's complex without being overly complicated, so it kind of helps give somebody a slightly larger picture of what's going on. Remember, there's a lot of people out there that think beer is Budweiser. I used to think beer was Budweiser. I actually enjoyed Budweiser, and if they ever cleaned up the recipe, I'd go back to drinking it. It's one of my favorites. But it's not a super overcomplicated beer. I remember when they used to put rice in Budweiser to dry it out, too. It was even better then. Is what it is. Again, that could be the Mandalorian effect, right? Where I came from a different timeline and shit was different. I don't know if you can see it. There's an odd gradient in the bottom. Your own damn beer, fly. And she laces fair to middling, so there isn't as much protein in here as you would think. Would I buy this beer again? Yeah, maybe. Would I drink this beer again? Sure. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's pretty good. It'd be actually a really nice summer beer. Would I drink this on tap? Yeah, I would hesitate This would definitely move up the list over some of the Big Ten race car beer selections you usually find on tap. Buy it, yes. Drink it, yes. Tap, yes. If you handed this to me out of the cooler, would I drink it? Of course. I wouldn't think twice. But even though it's a 23-ounce bottle, 24-ounce bottle, 1 pint 9 fluid ounces, 25-ounce bottle. I'll be back before you know it for another one. So, just saying. Thanks for coming by and putting some eyeballs on here, folks. We are going to give this beer a 4 1/4. It's a good beer. It's not a great beer. Had better, had worse. Eminently drinkable, though. Probably not going to make the cut for the rotation. And I bought it as a one-off, so it's not like I have 6 or 7 of them laying around. It just is what it is. I will catch you on the next one, but until then, my friends, what do I always want for you? Should be the big 3: happy, healthy, safe. And I want you to be the second big 3: honorable, dutiful, and vigilant, because these are important qualities. And then the last 3, of course, is be the gray man, baby. Fly low and slow. Keep your head on a swivel, check your 6, keep your situational awareness up. And as always, hot and handy are the words of the day these days, because there are just too many crazy people running around. Till next time, folks. Prost. Nice afternoon. Clean the yard, listen to tunes, drink beer. Life could be worse.